Now that Benedict XVI has been retired for a week, people are impatient for a pope. The secret Sistine Chapel will begin on Tuesday, so now more than 4,000 reporters jamming Rome have nothing but rumors to churn in the meanwhile. Speculation will switch to just how long the conclave will take and who will emerge in papal vestments. The reform-minded Americans such as Cardinal Timothy Dolan, Archbishop of New York, or Cardinal Sean O'Malley, Archbishop of Boston. A Brazilian beholden to the church bureaucracy. An Italian who could count on dozens of votes among the 115 electors. Check your preferred Vaticanist for the latest from Sandro Modister in Italy or John Allen of the National Catholic Reporter, who did an interview book with Dolan last year. But history, church law and the pressure to get a pope in place before Palm Sunday, March 24, give clues on how long it will take for the winner to get the essential 77 votes, the two-thirds majority of electors. Church historian Matthew Bunsen, editor of the Catholic Almanac, says the shortest conclave on record was 10 hours. In October 1503, it took just one ballot to unanimously elect Pope Julius II. But the last pope to be named on the first ballot was Pope Gregory XIII in 1572. In modern times, the speediest conclave was the 20-hour-long one in 1939, in which Cardinal Eugenio Pacelli became Pope Pius XII after 3 ballots. Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger's election was not far behind, however. He emerged as Pope Benedict XVI after the 4th ballot on the afternoon of the second day of the 2005 conclave. It took only 2 days, but 9 ballots, to elect his predecessor, Pope John Paul II, in 1978, but John Paul and Benedict both changed the conclave rules and procedure since then. Now, the cardinals only vote once on the opening day of the conclave and 4 times a day after that. If they haven't got a winner by the end of the 3rd day, they take a day off for prayer and resume voting. That pattern of voting/praying could go on for more than a month before the pressure ramps up by cutting the choices to the 2 leading contenders. But they can go on for years like the old days, says Bunsen. The longest papal election ran from November 1268 to September 1, 1271, ending with the election of Cardinal Teobaldo Visconti as Pope Gregory X. The longest conclave in modern times ran for 6 months in 1740, ending with the election of Cardinal Prospero Lambertini as Pope Benedict XIV. In one quirky conclave, a pope was named by acclamation after one inconclusive ballot. That was how Cardinal Alessandro Ludovisi became Pope Gregory XV in 1621, says Bunsen. Don't bet on that happening again. The College of Cardinals is rife with divisions over the qualities they seek in the next pope and what should be his priorities should be. But there is a sort of bandwagon effect once voting gets underway, says J.T. Tobin, an expert in econometrics at the University of Sydney, who has studied the conclave process. Tobin analyzed the voting patterns from 7 conclaves in the 20th century reconstructed from leaks that emerged afterwards, says David Gibson of Religion News Service. Gibson says Tobin's 2006 study showed that while sincere voters backed the same person through each ballot, strategic voters who shifted to back the emerging leader were the decisive ones in the end. Gibson found that pattern in Benedict's election. Ratzinger moved from just under 50 votes in the first round to 84 by the final tally. Canadian Cardinal Mark Ouellet, considered a contender for the papacy on many experts' short lists, later explained Benedict's quick march to the balcony. He said it made the choice of a controversial conservative appear to be a unified selection. If it was to be Ratzinger, it must be quick and clear-cut. Otherwise the reception would be disastrous. Ratzinger, however, was nearly a slam-dunk decision. A powerful cardinal known to all his brethren who gave strong addresses on the global stage about standing for absolute truth in an era of relativism. 8 years later, the conclave is nearly wide open. Various Catholic lay groups lobby publicly for their preferred candidates in pop-up press conferences all over Rome. And the cardinals, despite their oath of confidentiality during the advisory sessions now underway, continue to whisper in the ears of their preferred Vaticanistas. John Thawwise, author of the Vatican Diaries, who covered the Holy See for 30 years, sees Italian press presenting this a showdown between the reform-minded, exasperated U.S. cardinals against the entrenched old guard of the Roman Curia and Italian hierarchy. He quotes the Daily Il Fatto quotidiano on the Curia's reaction to the activist Americans. The reaction of the Curia officials, The cardinals who controlled the Holy See under the guidance of the Chamberlain, Tarcisio Bertone, was not long in arriving. A ban on talking, no press conferences, we're in charge. How's that working for Bertone? Not so well. Magister and Allen both quote unnamed sources among the cardinals and officials with access to their conversations.